pray for us?
Yes, sir.
Please. Heavenly,
Intercessor.
I'm ready to get out of here.
all right, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Is this microphone working?
Not much. How much?
I want to welcome everybody to the Saline County Quorum Court meeting for August 21st, 2023. And I'll ask that J.P. Root lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and that Jim Whitley lead us in prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your heads with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we're so very thankful for this beautiful day that you have made. So very thankful for the nation that you've given us all. We pray tonight, Lord God, that you grant us wisdom to do your will in these proceedings tonight. Pray that you'd grant us brotherhood, Lord God, and so that we might all, although we may disagree on certain things, that we may agree that we are all Americans and we stand together on that. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Clerk, if you'll call roll, please.
Bixby. Here. Hatcher.
Here.
Billingsley.
Here.
Howell.
Here.
Rude.
Here.
Bellinger.
Here.
Curtis.
Here.
Alvarez.
Here.
Engel.
Here.
Whitley.
Here.
Chisholm.
Here.
Walters. Kay.
Here.
13 present.
Thank you all for being here. I hope you've had the time to look at the minutes from our previous meeting.
Second.
We got a motion by Bellinger, we got a second by Howe. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Reports and proclamations, none, or business, none. We're going to go a little bit out of order here. I'm going to ask that we have public comment prior to Exhibit A. All of the people that signed up to speak, which I just put behind me, have said that they're here to speak on the library amendments to the ordinance. I'm going to first call Robin Robinson. Before you start, Ms. Robinson, we discuss this every time we're in here. There is a decorum to be expected in this proceeding. That is, it's not a spectator sport. There's no boos, there's no cheers. I'm going off of history from the last 8 months. I will not object or say anything about your opinions. If we get into name calling, I'll give you an example. I am an idiot. So-and-so is stupid. You will be shut down and told to leave the podium. Tell us your views. You have 3 minutes to do so. Please abide by the decorum of this court. We are going to go for 45 minutes. Robin Robinson.
Hello, thanks for hearing me tonight. I have more to say, but I hope and pray that you all had time to read those books. The X-rated books that are in our library, they are X-rated books that need to be moved. That's the case that we're talking about in the library. They've made it political, and I think you should recognize that and do your jobs and protect our children's minds and hearts. All they needed to do was move the books. And they've made this into respectable. They've done this because the LGBTQ community is bullies. They are bullies. They bully people into believing that sex changes and hormones will give them happiness. 40% of them, 40%, up to more than that, commit or try to commit suicide. That's gone straight up since 1990. When my daughter was told, how do you know you're not gay? Have you tried it? They're messing with the minds of our children that don't even develop till they're 25 years old. After 25 years old, they can make a lifelong decision like that. But when they're bombarding them with questions that shouldn't be asked of a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 15-year-old, it's your job to protect our community. We voted for you people to do just that. And I hope and pray that you're doing that. Move the books, that's all we're asking. Not burn them, not get rid of them, move them. And they refuse, so I believe they should be fired. And more conscious, conscientious people should be put in charge of the library. And with that, I thank you guys for hearing me.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Rachel Glenn.
Thank you. We know that no minds are being changed here tonight, but I just want to say to all the librarians and the support staff, your grace and bravery in the onslaught of this hateful rhetoric are an example to all of us. You have given hundreds of hours of your time to our children and our community with countless programs, both fun and educational, only to be met with scorn by the very people that you serve. Know that we stand with you, and we will be forever grateful for the unity you have brought to our community, even if that may be fated to end tonight. Because we all know that if this choice is made tonight, and rest assured it is a deliberate choice, to quash just the books on this list, it won't be enough. We have seen this play out in Jonesboro and communities across the United States. The Craighead County Library did everything that was asked of them, moved all the books, and still saw their library defunded by a large swath. Summer reading, a time-honored way to get kids excited about reading, canceled, stripped down, dozens of programs and educational opportunities being shuttered. Please, we are begging you, don't let Saline County be next. Be brave, stand up for your marginalized neighbors, do the hard thing, and you will be remembered for it. History has its eyes on you. Let us ensure that our libraries can remain vibrant, inclusive spaces that inspire and challenge us to become better versions of ourselves. To the LGBTQIA and people of color community in Saline County, you are not alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Glenn. Ms. Betty Van Bibber. When I raise my hand, it will mean that you have 30 seconds to complete your statement.
Means 30 seconds?
That's correct.
Okay. I want you to know that there is not anybody in here that Father God does not love. And there's not anybody in here that I do not love. I hate evil, and pornography is evil. And I'm just here to say that seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. And what are these things? That's peace, joy, health, wealth, and happiness. And that's the extent of what I want to say tonight. I love you all. God bless America, and God bless you.
Thank you, Ms. Van Bibber. Ms. Judy Pridgeon.
Good evening. I know most of you. We've heard a lot of negative about the library. I just want to tell y'all a real positive experience I had. 4 weeks ago on a Saturday, I was outside the Saline County Library from 9 to 12 with a petition drive. They had artists, writers from all over the state there displaying their books. Very, very elaborate displays. And also downstairs, they had superheroes day. They had the most awesome looking characters, Batman, I don't know all of them, y'all probably do. But anyway, parents came in with children by their hands. Some of them had books to return and some of them came out with books. But they were so happy to be there. And I just thought it was a wonderful experience. I couldn't get over how awesome it was. Just a steady stream. So the next day, I was real curious, and I called the library and said, can you tell me how many people probably attended the events yesterday? And they said, we didn't really have an accurate count, but as far as we know, it's 750. 750 people came to our library on Saturday. And then the next Saturday, they had a jigsaw puzzle contest. I didn't do that. So anyway, I just think it's real positive. It's always not negative. There's a lot of positive that comes out of Saline County Library. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bridget. Pat Roberts.
Judge, JPs, good evening. My name's Pat Roberts. I've lived in Benton for about 30 years. I've had 3 children go through the Benton school system. I know a lot of the JPs already from me. I know the judge just from seeing her in town and not personal friends with her, but you know, I know most of y'all. And I know y'all got a job to do here, and it's not easy. But I want to challenge you this evening. I want to challenge you to be bold leaders. We need bold leaders right now. We don't need people on our JP roster, and we don't need a judge that's not ready to stand up for the people of Saline County. I didn't come here tonight to create trouble. I know a lot of people here think that the Patriots, as they're known, are here to create trouble. We're here because we care. I wouldn't be here if I didn't care. I talk to my children all the time, try to raise them from the time they were young to be, responsible and accountable. And I want you to know that we're holding you responsible and we're holding you accountable. Not just this vote, but for the rest of the days that you serve as a JP. And, the question that you need to ask yourself is, why did I run for JP? Ask yourself that tonight when you go home. Maybe it's not for you. But we have other people waiting in line to serve. And that's a good thing. And I don't say that in a bad way. But I served my country in the military as an officer for right at 7 years. There's a saying in the military that says, lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. That's what we're asking you to do tonight. And I'm not here to just pick with y'all about the details. Y'all know what we're here for. Our children are at stake here. And I'm pleading to y'all to consider that. Y'all have children, most of you do. I've got grandchildren. That's why I'm here. So, but I'm simply here because I care. And I want to express my concerns to you, let y'all know genuinely that Saline County cares. Now, how many people want to be here tonight, but they're not here? We got you. I want to read to you, if I can get it up on my phone, a little post that I've been looking at or someone sent to me. And it will come up.
10 seconds.
I feel bad for parents nowadays. You have to explain the birds and the bees, the bees and the bees, the birds and the birds that used to be bees, the bees that used to be birds that look like bees, and the bees that look like birds.
Mr. Roberts, that's the conclusion of your time. Thank you.
That's where we are today. We challenge
Mr. Fred McGraw.
Thank you all. I'm going to take a slightly different tack tonight, not talk about the resolution so much because I think I've talked too much. I would like to raise an issue with you though, and it has to do, and I know you're governed by procedures under the county system, but my familiarity is with the federal rulemaking system and Administrative Procedures Act, which Federal Administrative Procedures Act has been around since 1946. That's how the federal government issues regulations, policies, and rulemaking. And they have a very formal process for formal rulemaking and an informal process for informal rulemaking. and it requires comments to a public docket, which is published. Now, I'm not suggesting that you all have administrative help to do such a thing. But my goodness, when you have a resolution, there should be some notice of it. Where it comes from, the offering of a resolution. What's the basis of it? Who's proposing it? And that should be public information. That should be up front, not after the fact. Number two, when there's inquiry that has to be made, like, for example, going to ask the library board what their policies are regarding this very important issue that's been raised. That should be documented. I'm not talking about a federal rulemaking docket. I'm talking about a paragraph or two that's available for the members of the public that come to these meetings. You guys keep that all to yourself. And frankly, we've got more than one different kind of answer out of you about what was going on and what happened. I'm not sure I know what the heck happened. I've talked to some people on the other side of the issue out here tonight. I found out not all the people on the other side of the issue for me were members of the Salem Witch Program. They're actually some pretty common sense people. And I tried to assure them there's some of us Democrats that aren't here to take over the country. I think that this all could have been resolved if we had a get-together and there was an honest sharing of facts and concerns. But I'm not here to, as a former member of the military and officer corps who vowed to support and defend the Constitution against all members, foreign and domestic terror. I'm not here to just accept somebody's word for something I feel like infringes on the Constitution I swore to defend. I think you guys owe us more than that. In fact, I'm sure you owe us more than that. That's all I'd like to say. I wish you'd consider that when you make your decision, and I wish you would I'd like to get with you, Ed, to talk about the recommendation for changing the protocol about how resolutions are offered. That's all I have to say. I appreciate it, because frankly, when we raise issues that should be discussed, this gentleman thought it was well enough to ask a question. The rest of you sit there with your hands on your laps, and you never even bothered to answer it. So it might have been that, maybe you thought I was stupid, but some of these questions would
Thank you, Mr. McGraw. That concludes your 3 minutes. I think you were ready for it. Thank you.
I'm done.
Pam Vitt, Ms. Vitt.
Good evening, gentlemen and lady. I know that this has been a very divisive and contentious issue for everyone on both sides, especially for our JPs and our judge. I want to thank you for all the time and effort that you have put into this ordinance. I know it wasn't easy, but I believe this ordinance protects our children and everyone in Saline County who visits our libraries. I encourage you to vote in favor of this ordinance. I want you to know that I have prayed for all of you, and I am trusting that God's will be done in this issue. And after tonight, I also trust that this will put an end to all the dissension and the animosity that has been displayed on both sides of this issue. And hopefully we will now all be able to work together to do what is best for our children, our county, and our libraries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Vitt. Carter Kirby.
Hello, my name is Carter Kirby. I live in Cabot, Arkansas, but more interestingly, I grew up in Benton. For a period of my life, I actually lived on Linwood Drive, which, if you don't know, is a short walk from Bob Hirschfeld Memorial Library. And every afternoon, when the bus would drop me off after class, I'd walk there instead of home. In 7th grade, I understood nothing about myself. It felt like everyone was falling into these categories that I couldn't understand. There were all these expectations that I couldn't live up to. And I had all sorts of questions that I didn't know who to ask or how to phrase. I turned to the most non-judgmental place that I knew to look, books. Literature has taught me everything I know about life, from empathy and compassion to the depths of hate, the way that power corrupts, and to always question authority. I was a kid getting in trouble for being neck deep in Cat's Cradle instead of paying attention during pre-algebra. So I found books about gender and sexuality and curled into the big window chairs and read and read and read. I read of people whose experiences matched mine, people whose experiences contradicted mine, people who used fake words and complicated theories that I couldn't yet understand. I wouldn't be who I was today if I hadn't read those books. And I wouldn't feel strong enough to stand up to people like you who intend to take those learning opportunities away from people either. I wouldn't understand that your hate comes from a place of ignorance and fear. I wouldn't have known that this is history repeating itself. I wouldn't be a free-thinking person as this country intends its constituents to be if I hadn't read those books. You will not erase an entire community of people this way. We will continue to share our ideas, our theories, and our stories, and we will keep fighting to have them publicly accessible so that the next generation isn't sheltered by the same ignorant house that you built. Our words will be wrecking balls against the decaying foundations of hate erected on the public utilities that we pay for. So, if you have not yet caught the irony in claiming that we brainwash people while you actively restrict access to literature, then I have only one suggestion for you, Court. Read a book.
I want to apologize to the court. I want to apologize to the court this time is for Saline County residents, and in the business that's written at the bottom of this page, I missed whatever is written here. I've got no idea what that says. So I'm going to add 3 minutes to the time, and I apologize again for that.
Judge, I have a question. Can I answer that?
Can we do it at the end, please? Mary Lewis.
Afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to come up here and tell you I support, you guys already know how I feel. I support this ordinance. Thank you so much. I appreciate a good vote tonight, and thank you for being here.
Ms. Lewis. Kristen Netters Higgins. Are you a Saline County resident down with this other?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I'm here again tonight. Hello, everybody. I'm here tonight to share with you about how libraries are more than books today. They're holding our community fabric together, including here in Saline County. They offer us knowledge, cake pans for birthday parties, homeschooling kids we can check out, puzzles, movies, and access to the internet for people who do not have the otherwise ability to apply for jobs online. They're a positive influence in our community, and I'm here tonight to oppose this ordinance. I'm here to protect my children and other people's children's rights to read books that other people hate, to learn about topics that are uncomfortable. I'm here to say I care about my community and ask that you vote against this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Higgins. Rhonda Covington.
First, I want to say thank you if you support this amendment, and thank you. Second, I want to say that I've been an educator, qualified to teach kindergarten through 8th grade. I've taught children my whole life. I've been a foster parent for 8 children, no federal funding. So my life has been to take children and love children. And I want those I've met tonight who have not looked at this, but I want to tell you about some of these books that they're wanting our children to read. This is Jack of Hearts. Page 1 is talking about a person. Page 2 is talking description of size. And I'm going to read the warning on it. This is from 12 through 18. The content warning. You are about to access material that may contain content of an adult nature. These files may include pictures, materials, that some viewers may find offensive. If you are under the age of 18, or if such materials offend you, or it's illegal for you to view these materials, please exit now. This book details anal sex, fetishes, kinks, and fantasies, sexual acts that is proven to harm adults and children, anal sex. But those that want their kids to see them, no one's stopping them for letting and they're having them, they can check them out. But when they are saying, and it's available, no one's hurting anybody's privileges to see a free book from the library. But thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Covington. Dean McDonald Jr.
Good evening. Thank you to the Quorum Court for your time. Today, Saline County is at a fork in the road. On one side, you've got a predetermined outcome, the dissolution of this public library. On the other, you have the option of having a spine and doing what's right. I don't know if she's still here or watching on the live stream, but I'd like to take a second to thank Mrs. Patty Hector for all she's contributed to this community, her library, and her staff who diligently serve the wonderful people of this community. Thank you for standing up in front of an entire Quorum Court and an angry mob that defiantly rejects reason and fairness. Thank you for not putting this community in jeopardy of a lawsuit for viewpoint discrimination. Thank you for being willing to do what is right, even when it is clearly not popular by your so-called superiors. We've seen a lot of talk about morality. To those who wish to push an agenda of exclusion, I ask that we look in the mirror and reflect. We have to reflect on the ninth commandment. Mrs. Hector, this library, and our wonderful public servants who work here have borne so much false witness because of the people in this community that wish to divide and conquer, to exclude, to hate, and to discriminate. Lastly, I would like to address the real issue in the room. I've heard remarks made that have said that library defenders look, quote, looking, end quote. I want to address this head on. My name is Dean McDonald. I'm a white, heterosexual, cisgender, Christian man. I check every box for those who oppose these books and wish to see Mrs. Hector fired. You probably think I ought to be on your side, but I gladly am not. You missed the greatest commandment of all, which is to love thy neighbor. Loving thy neighbor means loving your gay nephew, loving your trans daughter, loving your neighbor regardless of who they love and how they identify. You're not just attacking your queer friends. You've been telling this library to remove any books that mention racism. It's 2023, and you're telling me the library has an agenda? Your agenda is far and beyond more crystal clear than any of what you can falsely accuse this library of. This isn't about protecting children. It's policies like this and those who advocate for these policies that make queer or non-white youth more suicidal. If defending the freedom to read makes you woke, then I'd rather not be slept. May we all be someone this Quorum Court and county judge would find zero confidence in. May the voters hold every single person who votes for this in contempt. Thank you for your time.
Angela Gray.
I'm Angela Gray, and I'd like to offer some encouragement tonight. You all have demonstrated courage despite threats and intimidation from the radical left the last few months. Once you pass the ordinance tonight, it is time to start the process of returning conservative Saline County values to the library. After barely scratching the surface of publicly available documents, it is apparent that the problems of the library are far deeper than some pornographic books. Every line item and every policy should be reviewed. You all know that the American Library Association is headed by a self-described Marxist. Libraries across the country have been separating from the ALA, and it's time for Saline County to do the same. All of the other associations should be reviewed as well, including payments made to the corporation and controlled in part by Ms. Hector, advocates for Arkansas public libraries, and advocates for all Arkansas libraries. We must never again allow the Saline County Library to weaponize our tax dollars against the citizens of this county. The radical left likes to talk about losing state funding, but let me give you a little insight. The state funding is subject to the vote of the legislature. It isn't guaranteed. A movement is currently underway to reduce or eliminate that funding anyway. And given the new direction of the state budget toward cutting spending and taxes, there is a good possibility that it will be cut regardless of what Saline County Quorum Board does. In conclusion, you all are appreciated for taking this expected step, but do not become complacent. Much work remains to be done. The Saline County Republican will remain committed to protecting the decency of this community, and we will see this matter to conclusion. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Gray. Brian Rousey.
I, like many other Saline County residents, have voiced our concerns over your multiple proposals to our library. So I don't know that I can say anything else here to change your mind. I just want to point out how Craighead County Library was defunded and the things that they had lost. Our library here has a maker's corner, which has a 3D printer. My son was born without a right hand. That 3D printer can print him a prosthetic hand, free of charge, so he could have two hands to do things. Funding cut, that could be the first thing to go, I don't know. So I do not want that funding cut. And on the proposal of putting the judge in charge of the library, you're wanting to remove the decisions of the library from a board and a director that has a master's degree in library science to a position, not this gentleman, but the position that only requires you to be 25 years old and a qualified elector and a resident of Saline County. If I looked it up correct, that's all it needs to be, Judge, correct? Also want to talk about the disrespect some of you guys have during the public comments. Ms. Howell, you can be heard discussing your sonic order when public comments were being made just a few meetings back. Mr. Curtis, he can be seen scrolling through his phone through almost everybody talking.
Judge, I want to have this guy removed from the podium. He's attacking us personally, and I would like to see him removed.
Quite frankly, I agree. We went over that. That doesn't pertain to this.
Well, I wasn't calling names. I was pointing out that you guys don't listen to your constituents.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, yeah. I didn't say any names. Didn't call anybody a name.
Next, we have Allison Grace.
The lady who said that we were bullies, she didn't get called out.
If there's another outburst from anybody in the audience, you'll be asked to leave. If you don't leave, you will be made to leave.
My name is Allison Gray. I'm a lifelong Saline County resident and concerned citizen. Most of you should know I'm an extremely passionate Republican. I stand firmly against discrimination. Some of you might have watched when I spoke in favor of SB 71 at the Capitol this spring. Some believe that the Saline County Library Board should be made more diverse. As Republicans, we believe all Americans should have equal opportunity to succeed, regardless of race, nationality, origin, gender, or creed, and should be granted no special preferences based on these criteria. That is a direct statement from the Republican Party platform. Appointments to any board in this conservative county should be based upon the person's merit. We should allow all candidates for library to have equal opportunity, but select the candidate best equipped for the job who has Saline County values. It's time for us to look past race. I hope candidates for the library board will be selected based upon legitimate qualifications instead of race, gender, or nationality. Library board terms last 5 years. That is longer term than any elected official. To the 13 of you choose to go on the library board will have a lasting impact on this county, for better or worse. Some who seek only to build the resume or push the racial agenda have no place on the Saline County Library Board. Remember, you are all elected Republicans. I encourage each of you to follow the platform that you are supposed to stand with and appoint the best, most qualified candidate for the job. Stand for what is right because it's the right thing to do. Thank you for your time and your time.
Thank you, Ms. Ray. Next, we have Gary Don Beck.
My name is Gary Don Beck, and I would like to thank y'all for all the time and efforts you put into this debate. I thank you very much for your time.
Next, we have Amanda Quorum.
And I'm a constituent in Rick Bellinger's district. I just wanted to say thank you. Regardless of what side you fall down on, this has been really, really tough for you guys. It's been tough for the community, whether you have an R behind your name or whether you have a D behind your name, regardless of what church you go to or don't go to church. It's been very difficult for the community, but we support you. And so I just want to say thank you for keeping the main thing. And I believe that most of you understand that relocation is not banning. I don't want books to be banned. I do want my children and my grandchildren and my neighbors' children and their children to understand that content that's sexual, graphic, has graphic pictures, needs to be built or needs to be spearheaded by a guardian that understands what their child is ready for. Because what my child is ready for may not be what somebody else's child is ready for. Thank you for reading it in twice. Thank you for a good vote tonight. Thank you.
Ms. Ewald. Next, Jennifer Lancaster.
Good evening. I'm Jennifer Lancaster. I'm the proud president of Saline County Republican Women. And I wanted to say thank you to all the men and women who have been involved in this process, who paid attention, who investigated it. From the people in the audience, thank all of you. And I just want to say thank you to all of you too, because since this issue has come to light, I know all of you have invested a lot of time, whether it's investigating what's down at the library for yourself, or whether it's talking to constituents to find out where they what their thoughts and feelings are on the issues. And I know that's taken up a lot of your time, and so I just want to say thank you. And as you know, I too am not in favor of banning any books. That's not what this is about. This is about protecting our children, which we all have a duty to do as citizens of this great country. So thank you to Mr. Chisholm, Mr. Whitley, Ms. Howell. Thank you to all of you for what you've been doing. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Lancaster. Last is Mr. Clint Lancaster.
All right. Good evening. I'd like to make clear that I identify as a heterosexual male and ask that you applaud my bravery. I'd also like to talk about laws. Laws. I've heard today about a hero day, elaborate displays of books, happiness at the library, deliberate choice, hateful rhetoric, protecting children, what you owe the people, and that the library is holding the community fabric together. How is it doing that if it's not operating in a legal manner? How is that happening? This isn't about relocating books. This isn't about defunding anything. This is about complying with the law. And so I would tell you the same thing someone once told me. We all leave our homes and we go out to slay a dragon. But we don't find any dragons, so we parade around our neighborhood slaying the lizards. Bring on the dragon. And this is the dragon, and that you have to go out and just do the right thing. If you vote yes and somebody sues you, I am still going to represent you for free, even you, Mr. Cat. And I will work with your county attorney, and we will show those folks how the West was won. Thank you.
That concludes our public comment. Mr. J.P. Ray.
Mr. Kirby, I have a question for you. I just want to make sure I understood one thing. You said that you went to the library after school unsupervised?
I was walking to the library at school, my mother was supervised.
By yourself, correct?
Hold on half a second. Will you, if you're willing, will you come forward? You can have at least a minute to respond to any questions.
So you did go to the library by yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions?
I'd like to say something.
Just, please keep in mind, that we're supposed to address this way unless you have a question for somebody. Then they have 1 minute to respond.
Okay. Hey, this is a simple issue, not complicated. It's been turned into something complicated. All along, all this was protect the children. If the books had been moved, we wouldn't be going through all this tonight. For some reason, I don't understand. We've got censorship laws all over this country. And I guess they stop at the threshold of the library. I don't understand that. I wish somebody to explain that to me. But never, and I'm not going to read the resolution, but never in the resolution did we ever mention race, gender, fire, defund, ban, burn. Never mentioned that. And if we'd have passed that resolution, which we did vote on that resolution, we don't come back in here and change the wording like it's been said that people thought that we were going to do. This has never been a political move. I don't think anybody on this quorum court look at this as being political. It's bottom line trying to protect the children. For the life of me, I don't understand how adults can get up and think that this explicit sexual content is okay. To challenge a book in the library, they say you got to read the whole book. I don't understand that. A lot of my constituents that I've showed these books to, when they read the page that I've showed them to read, most of them won't read anymore because they've been offended. I can't think of a one that was okay to read the rest of the book.
Thank you, Judge. I would just like to say that to all of you who oppose the resolution and oppose the ordinance, I would like to make a commitment to you tonight that, and I know that a lot of you feel that this is headed toward defunding or cutting funding for the library. And I'll go on record as to saying that I believe that the library is a very important institution. It's very important to our community. I share that with you. And I'm passionate about that as well. I believe it is very important. And literacy is I'm saying that literacy is so very important. And sharing of ideas is so very important. There are certain things that we disagree on. I don't believe that sexually explicit material is appropriate for children unless their parents approve it and check it out for them. That's my belief. And that's really the spirit of the resolution. But I will go on record tonight saying that I will oppose any budget cuts, any defunding of our library. Was never the intention. And I think it's very important. And I appreciate, honestly, on both sides of the aisle, I appreciate the passion that everyone has for the library, because I agree with you all. It's very important. Thank you.
Right, that concludes our comments. We're going to go back to old business. Exhibit A.
All right. After the last court meeting is brought to our attention, we have Scrivener's error on the second whereas 14-15-705 is struck. It should say 14-14-705. That's the correct code section. So I want to make a motion to suspend the rules tonight and place this on first reading for purposes of amendment. Let's vote. We got a second. But then we're going to go back through and suspend the rules and have a final vote in just a few minutes.
We have a motion and a second. We have a motion by Curtis. We have a second by Chisholm. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right, now I want to make a motion to amend, the second whereas to include 14-14-705 rather than 14-15-705.
We got a motion by Curtis. We have a second by Bellinger. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Exhibit A, this will be the first reading. We must read the ordinance as amended with the amendments.
Being enacted by the full course of Lincoln County, State of Arkansas, North Utah, North amending ordinance number 1978-1 to revise the obligation, duties, and powers of Administrative County Library Board of Saline County. Be it ordained by the full course of Saline County, whereas Saline County ordinance number 1978-1 library ordinance established at Administrative County Library Board, the Saline County Library Board. Whereas Arkansas College annotated subsection 14-15-705, which is struck, 14-14-705 authorizes the county administrative board to exercise administrative powers granted by county ordinance. Whereas the Quorum Court, Saline County Quorum Court has determined that it is in the best interest of Saline County residents that the administrative powers granted to Saline County Library Board be amended. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Saline County, Arkansas, Article 1, Library Ordinance, Saline County Ordinance number 1978-1 is hereby amended and revised by this ordinance is set forth below. Article 5, Saline County Library Board created by this ordinance shall have full and complete, which is struck, authority subject to oversight by the Saline County Judge to manage, operate, maintain, and keep a good state of repair any and all buildings, equipment, or installation of any kind used by the purpose of Saline County Library as the same exists at the time the said board received them or may be added to change hereafter. The Saline County Library Board power and duty to employ or remove all employees of the Saline County Public Library, fix, regulate, and pay their salaries, which is struck. The board shall have exclusive, which is struck, right and power subject to the Saline County Judge's oversight, which is added to make purchases of all supplies and equipment and other property and things requisite and necessary for the operation and management of the Saline County Public Library. The public or the power includes contracting for or purchasing, which is new, including which is struck, new construction and equipment is needed, being attention to the ordinance to best the said board the authority to operate, manage, and maintain equipment, control the Saline County Library Board and all subjects to county purchase struck. All statutory and constitutional laws of Arkansas. Article 6, the Saline County Library Board shall have the authority to enter into contracts other than for the purpose of employment, which is new, with persons, firms, corporations, or organizations, including all levels of government, municipal corporations for any legitimate purpose in furtherance of the operation of Saline County Public Library, subject to all applicable state and local laws, which is new. Article 7, the board shall adopt such rules, policies, and procedures, new and regulations that may be necessary and expedient for the proper operation and management of Saline County Public Library, not inconsistent with the ordinance or laws of the state of Arkansas, and shall have authority to alter, change, or amend such rules and regulations at its discretion. Prior to adoption of any rules, policies, procedures, or regulations under this article, the board shall submit the proposal to the Saline County Judge for review. The board shall have the final authority to adopt or amend any rules, policies, procedures, or regulations subject to all applicable state and local laws. Article 8, the board shall submit quarterly reports between 3 months after its organization and each 3 months thereafter, reporting in full on the operations, including the accounting of receipts, disbursements to the county judge, Quorum court, and shall furnish such other and further reports, data, and information that may be requested by the county judge and the Quorum court. The court report to the county judge and Quorum court with respect to receipts and disbursements shall be certified as correct by said board. Said board shall also submit to the county judge and the Quorum court an annual third-party audit, which is due, and by non-governmental accounting firm of the operations of said Saline County Public Library. The board shall submit a detailed line-by-line library budget during the county's annual budget process for review and approval by the Quorum court and subject to the appropriation, which is new. Article 9. All sums collected by said board shall become county funds shall be deposited in the county treasurer in a separate fund to be called Saline County Public Library Fund. All county monies for the operation of the Saline County Public Library shall be provided by the Quorum court appropriation. Struck. Board members shall each furnish to the county a $2,500 property bond, which shall be filed with the county clerk, which insures the county against any misappropriation of mishandling fund. The board members shall receive no salary, no other form of monetary compensation for their services. This is new. The board members shall cause to be furnished to the county for filing with the county clerk, subject to any statutory requirements, sufficient security through bonding or insurance, to ensure the county against any misappropriation of mishandling of funds. The library board shall cause to be obtained a primary payer, first payer insurance policy or policies to provide adequate security against claims that may be made due to the actions or inactions of the library board of Saline County Public Library against the library board or Saline County Public Library with the county as an additional insurer. Article 2. Excuse me. Strike throughs and words and phrases to be deleted, while underlined words or phrases are to be added to the library ordinance 1978-1. All strike throughs and underlined additions in this ordinance are here deemed to apply upon passage with prior to publication and application of the terms set forth herein. Article 3, a copy of the amended library ordinance incorporating the additions and deletions set forth in this ordinance, and this ordinance should be on file at the office of the county clerk and available for public inspection during normal business hours. Article 4, severability. If any part of this ordinance still invalid, such invalidity shall not affect any other portions of this ordinance. Article 5, repealer. Any ordinance or parts of this ordinance in conflict herewith or hereby repealed.
Thank you, sir.
I want to make a motion to suspend the rules and put the ordinance on second reading by title only.
We have a motion by Curtis and a second by Bellinger. This requires a voice vote. Please call the
Hatcher,
Yes.
Billingsley,
Yes.
Howell,
Yes.
Root,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Curtis,
Yes.
Alvarez,
Yes.
Engel,
Yes.
Whitley,
Yes.
Chisholm,
Yes.
Walters, Heck,
Yes.
Bisbee.
Yes.
13-4. Ordinance 2023-17.
That was to suspend the rules and read by title only for the second reading.
Be enacted by the Quorum court of Saline County, State of Arkansas, and orders to be entitled ordinance amending ordinance number 1978-1 to revise the obligations, duties, and powers of the administrative county library board for Saline County.
Motion to suspend the rules and put the ordinance on third reading by title only.
Second.
We've got a motion by Curtis and a second by Whitley. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Please read by title only.
Be
enacted by the Quorum Court, Saline County, State of Arkansas, and orders to be entitled, orders amending ordinance number 1978-1 to revise the obligations, duties, and powers of the administrative county of the library board for Saline County.
This will be the third and final vote. It will be by roll call. Please call roll.
Billingsley,
Yes.
Howell,
Yes.
Ruth,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Alvarez,
Yes.
Engel,
Yes.
Whitley,
Yes.
Chisholm,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Heck,
No.
Bisbee,
No.
Hatcher.
Yes.
11 yes.
11 yes, 2 no. Ordinance passes as amended. Exhibit B. Got a motion by Bellinger and a second by Rude. To read by title only.
Enacted by the Quorum Court, Saline County, State of Arkansas, and orders to be entitled, orders amending ordinance number 2004-34.
That's the second reading, will be scheduled for a third reading next week. New business. Exhibit C.
Second.
We have a motion by J.P. Engel and a second by J.P. Root.
Resolution authorizing the grant application process for the Edward Garner Memorial Justice Grant Assistance and Grant JAG Program fiscal year 2023 local solicitation for providing other assurances.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Resolution 2023-12.
Exhibit D. Motion by Walters, second by Bellinger.
In the matter of appointments to the Saline County, Arkansas Water Works and Sanitation Sewer Public Facilities Board.
Motion by Walters, a second by Bellinger. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Exhibit E. Let me make a comment here. The person that I was going to appoint has respectfully withdrawn their name for consideration or confirmation of the Quorum Court to be the next library board of director. So we are at 4 directors, and we will go back to looking for a fifth. Exhibit F. Please read by title only.
Be enacted by the Quorum Court, Saline County, State of Arkansas, and orders to be entitled, an ordinance to amend the 2023 Saline County Budget Ordinance number 2022-36, and amendments thereto to appropriate professional development recognition payments for other purposes.
We have a motion by Bellinger. We have a second by Root. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Exhibit G.
Motion to approve by title only.
We'll read by title only, please.
Be enacted by the Quorum Court, Saline County, State of Arkansas, and orders to be entitled, orders to amend the 2023 Saline County Budget Ordinance number 2022-36 to appropriate transfer funds, therefore, for various budgets for other purposes.
We have a motion by Billingsley. We have a second by Curtis. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there any discussion or comments before I weigh in?
I do have a question about the public comments. Just, I haven't seen the sign-in sheet before, so I don't know. Do we require, or do we ask that they list their address so that we
We
can?
ask if they're a Saline County resident or not. And, quite frankly, I'm not sure what it says, but it should, I should have picked up that it doesn't say yes.
No, it's good. I was just gonna ask if we didn't, if we could do that, make sure that we have Saline County residents speaking, especially when it's a large group of people, that we make sure they have their voice heard, so.
Thank you to somebody I was about to introduce. Colton Jones, I just wanted to approve his work. Exhibit F and Exhibit G are actually ordinances. And so we do require a roll call. I apologize to the clerk for that. We go back to Exhibit F, which we had a motion to approve by Bellinger, and second by Rue. There was no discussion. Is there any discussion now? Will you please call the roll?
Howell,
Yes.
Rue,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Curtis,
Yes.
Alvarez,
Yes.
Engel,
Yes.
Whitley,
Yes.
Chisholm,
Yes.
Walter,
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
Bisbee,
Yes.
Hatcher,
Yes.
Billingsley.
Yes.
13-4, ordinance 2023-8.
Judge, we were so focused on the procedural for the other ordinance, we just totally screwed that one up.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, I normally help him up here, I will.
Exhibit G, there was a motion to approve by Billingsley, and there was a second by Curtis. Is there any discussion on that?
Actually, I do, and I should have said something earlier, but I didn't catch the
Fit
number.
right in.
All right. So, on the second whereas, we're addressing the 911 office and part-time help being moved over to help cover. I know, obviously, one of the things we're looking at here that we haven't addressed in a while is the consolidation of Saline County Emergency Communications Center and the city of Bryan. I don't know if we could maybe give an update or get an update to the whole court on that and where we stand on moving forward with needed positions moving into next year if we're going to need those with the consolidation coming forward. So I know with this lack of funding, that might be something we need to address.
There's an upcoming 911 board meeting, which I'm unable to update you on, obviously, how that's going to turn out. My feeling is we're going to have to keep our eye on this, and we're going to work with Bryant that if the 911 center gets employees from Bryant prior to for a consolidated effort, that they will pay for that portion of until we get to January 1st. Now, none of that has been discussed at a board meeting with board members, but that is on the radar to discuss at the next 911 board meeting.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Call roll, please.
Rue,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Curtis,
Yes.
Alvarez,
Yeah.
Engel,
Yes.
Whitley,
Yes.
Chisholm,
Yes.
Walter, Heck,
Yes.
Bisbee,
Yes.
Hatcher,
Yes.
Billingsley,
Yes.
Howell.
Yes.
13-4, ordinance 2023-19.
Exhibit G passes. Any discussion or comments from the group, Mr. Kay?
I'd just like to pass along a thank you from the Hot Springs Village and the Welfare League. They did get their semi-annual funding, putting in use first thing, the vaccination clinic at Fountain Lake to get out there. They're still in search of a mobile vet to come in and do the snipping. They've got lost on that because the previous mobile vet won't come to this area anymore. So thanks from the village and welfare.
Oh, can I say something?
Al?
September 23rd, Lake Norwell Fire Department has their annual fundraiser. And Riverside Grocery is going to do the catering for it. September 23rd, Saturday from 5 to 7. Don't come.
Anybody else?
I have a question for you, Judge.
Yes.
You talked about, you asked the JPs if they were interested in volunteering for some of these committees and boards as liaison. Are we going to do anything with them?
Yes. I've received a few. I'll remind you, there's a few that may just be looking for the right time to send them in. Now's the right time. Yeah, please do so.
And then I have just one other comment that I'd like to make about the library ordinance that we passed. I just want to say that it's not about banning books, it's not about race, it's not about sexual preference, it's about fiscal accountability and adhering to county personnel policy and bringing the library in compliance with Amendment 55. You know, I have a black son-in-law and a gay nephew, so I'm definitely not biased either one. I welcome all both of them into my family. But utter nonsense, I think, that has anything to do with what we're doing with the library. That's all I want to say.
Thank you, Mr. Bellinger. Anybody else have something, Mr. Bisbee?
I have a personal announcement and I guess a warning for everybody. My son passed his driver's test. So be on the lookout for him when you're on the road.
He's home now?
Yeah.
Good.
Did you let the sheriff know to be watching for him?
Does anybody else have anything? If I may, just real quick, this is Colton Jones' first meeting. He's already proven his work, and I thank you for being here. I look forward for years of service from you, Colton. Thank you very much, but please welcome and get to know Mr. Jones. Also here today is our Office of Emergency Management Director. Comes with a wealth of experience, and I'm asking he doesn't prove his worth here right now. But I do want to make this now. He started with hitting the ground running. There have been some events that have occurred in our community. Before he ever became full-time, was part-time, he had some of those to go out to. So I just want to thank both of you for joining our team. What a resource they are to the county. Mr. Whit.
Judge, if I might introduce and recognize someone from the audience and allow them to speak for just a moment.
Okay.
I'm sorry, they're not on the agenda, but it's Jay Cupid, and he is the director of the Other Side Rehabilitation Program, and he's here tonight.
That's going to be really tough under this setting. Let's do it where we can. If you want to make a comment to that, but I think we really need to stick to this. If we don't. OEM director does have a name, and it is Jerry Cohen, and we're happy to have him here. I want to tell you that this weekend there was an event that took place in which 53 patients were seen over 2 days, actually 43 in one day. The culmination of getting the resources, law enforcement, National Weather Service, EMS, all of those, it culminates at the Office of Emergency Management. It's a very important piece to be able to communicate with all those and unify that command. And that was put on display just this last Friday and Saturday. I want to finish with this. I think there's one or two more Third Thursdays that happen on this courthouse lawn. There is a big football game that's coming up between Benton and Bryant called the Salt Bowl. There was an event Friday and Saturday night in which people from around the country and the Czech Republic showed up in our county. And people showed up and showed out, and there were smiles on their faces, regardless of backgrounds, thoughts, ideologies. And it's extremely encouraging. I'm just going to say this. I am not for, I denounce hateful comments, rhetoric, all of the things that, quite frankly, we have experienced by some, not all, individuals. So if that doesn't apply to you, thank you. If it does, try having conversations with people in a respectful manner. Take the criticism that, hey, maybe we need to be a little more respectful to each other. Show up to these events that happen in our fabulous county and see what we can do when we work together despite ourselves. Thank you all for showing up for this. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn if nobody has anything. Second. Motion by Engel, seconded by J.R. All those in favor, stand up.
Mr. Curtis, I'll see you in a blue suit next month.